Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and I played right around 1,000,000 to 1,000,000,000 matches in the new post-rotation queue or whatever. They're calling it Standard 2022. It's not Standard and it's not 2022, and it's going on right now, but okay. Should we just call it like the early rotation format or something? I don't know. Submit a name down below. We'll all vote on it. Y'all thought this is a dictatorship. It's a democracy. But the question is it better than Standard Constructed currently is, or even was before the release of the latest set, but either way. And is it fixed enough that it's enjoyable to play or close to it? Now, everybody's running in that queue, ranked or unranked, their new idea for a deck. I've seen such a high deck variety, and it is refreshing. It's hard to get a grasp on what the meta is then, but I don't care. It's deck diversity. Enjoy it while it lasts. I'm sure we've got about 24 hours. So yeah, I'd say probably 75% of the people appear to be trying their own idea for a deck or trying something they just found on a forum online or Reddit or something. And then a quarter of the people are just running the same stupid deck as some other people I've seen. So they've determined, oh yes, mathematically, this is the best deck. Or they tried out 10 and then settled on one. It's starting to coalesce, I guess, into tier 1 and then everybody running nothing but that. But we'll see. I'd give it a couple more days before I make an official call on the true deck diversity. So that's too close to call, but what is the power level? We went from, 8 sets legal to 4? And 2 of the absolute worst sets ever designed in the history of the game were removed. And in fact, from my problem list, which is the cards that pretty urgently need to be banned, the overwhelming majority of those are gone. So this is the ultimate ban wish list, but they didn't get all of it, and Luminarch is still legal. But absolutely shockingly, mono white isn't that good, with one exception. There is one deck that is super powered, and it's the white version of a Red Rush deck, but with counters and a little bit of life gain, and then a little bit of removal resistance and a little bit of mid game, in case they don't kill you on turn 5. So that's not good. That one just right off the bat gave me the impression that is too fast, too powerful, too good for a brand new, refreshed, fix everything, slow, 4-set, legal, low-powered format. So right off the bat, we've got a problem, obviously. Spoiler alert, more than one problem. But you fix a small number of things with a ban. Single ban announcement. Easy. So let's move on. I'm not going to get hung up on, there's one deck I saw that's over the line, I give up. They can fix it with a ban. Will they? Hell no, but I can dream. But other than that, it is slower. It gives you room to breathe, but I could be completely wrong there because I'm playing against experimental decks that people haven't tightened up yet. A lot of people haven't trimmed their shit down to 60 either, and nobody's playing mill. So there's no legitimate reason other than you're testing the deck. So it's hard to make a call on anything, but generally, just in the average game with decks I've built it with decks I've played against, in the competitive, what am I currently in? Platinum? Yeah, it's definitely slowed down. It's definitely gradual. Just building a deck, I'm finding it much, much harder to build anything that even resembles anything I've ran in the last 2 years. All my ideas are out, which is kind of nice. It's initially frustrating, but it's nice because then I have to play something different. I am sick of running mono white life gain for the 7th year in a row. That stuff was hot when we were in Space Egypt. But just bad, egregious gameplay loops, they're gone. I can't even name one that I saw. So just, they played Luris, and now they're going to loop something forever. They're going to loop a savior creature indestructible thing or hexproof thing or protection thing or whatever every single turn. I literally cannot get rid of one single one of their permanents. I have already lost. Or, look, they got a Dream Trawler. Well, I lost. I can't get rid of it. Oh, look, blue-white, 2 planeswalkers in play plus 2 hand refillers, and they got 7 cards in hand. Well, me. No obnoxious, stupid stuck situations, no obnoxious, stupid individual permits that are just independently game-ending that I saw. No stupid, no matter if I block it or don't or whatever, eventually they're going to get 3 death triggers, they're going to be amplified, those triggers are going to be amplified, plus they also have the life gain, the veto trigger, and then so if these 3 die, I take 12 damage and it's unavoidable, I can't win, well, fuck this. Also known as the appropriately named Pest deck. That thing is the dickishness level that aristocrats wished they could get to. There's layers of triggers that go so deep, they don't even have to ram their creatures into you or wait for you to have to swing, okay? They'll just sack 3 of them with some kind of spell cloning horse shit. But before I go off on a 50-minute tangent about that deck and the people who play it, I don't miss any of that shit. So it's like, is the gameplay good? No. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Please see my merch booth in the lobby. Now, is it a gigantic leap in the right direction? Yes. But the ultra important question, and people have actually like asked this in my comments section, does this indicate a power down, or is the power down just because you're playing with 4 sets instead of 8? Which in that case, it wouldn't matter what the power level of the sets are. You just have less cards. It's less of a card pool. You're going to build less powerful decks. Less synergy, less triggers, less open-ended stuff. That's just how math works. It's a little bit too early to say. I'd like to say 2 things. Okay, this was supposed to be a core set. It is drastically overpowered for a core set, the D&D set. But like, Origins was insane. Landfall was insane. Everybody was playing Landfall. So then we had Baby Jace, which was like a $78 card at one point. So it's like, was that really a low-powered core set? Because when they say core set, it means low-powered. Vanilla, boring, low-powered crap, nothing too complicated. Can we just agree that it wasn't a core set and they were just lying about that? Or it was like 1% similar to like the personality or design archetype of a core set, and then the other 99% is just Mark Rosewater going crazy with card design again. But is it lower powered than Throne of Eldraine? Absolutely. Is it lower powered than Ikoria? Don't make me laugh. Yes. Oh my gosh. I can't believe you would actually ask me that question. Have you lost your damn mind? Theoretical person. Now, has there been enough lead time? Oh yes. They know they f***ed up a long enough time in the past for this to be one that they corrected. In fact, I would have said that probably a year ago. Because remember, they designed this shit like a year and a half in advance. They knew a year and a half ago that Standard was way too powerful. People are pissed. Nothing's working, and the ban announcements are out of control. They've banned more cards in the last like 2 years than they have in the entire history of Magic or something like that. It has gone so far off the deep. I can't even get the f***ing take right. I said deep web like the first 3 times. Sure, you know what? That's the saying now. It's gone off the deep web. I think like a year and a half ago was when Mark Rosewater took that survey of his own fans on 2 different platforms, and 74% of people said, I hate the high level power of Standard, y'all done up. So they were aware of it with enough lead time for this to be the first set. And like I said, I would say that about at least the last couple. So is it conceivable, does the timeline match up, is it possible that this is the gradual power down? People are comparing it to like, I don't know, some other set where they went from a high power level to like way back down. It was quite a while ago, but they have done it. Well, I mean, look at the dungeon mechanic, yeah. That's kind of self-contained, it's kind of its own thing. It's kind of like a quirky little thing you might build a commander deck around. Somebody made a like dungeon speedrun all trigger deck, and they claim it's unstoppable, but I mean they did that like yesterday, which is like the first day, second day, whatever. So is there still one deck that I've seen that I've played against? I played probably about 30-40 matches in the last like 2.5-3 days, that I would just say, okay, well there's the new bar, that's the new unbeatable deck. You expected me to say no, didn't you? I have some bad news for you. There is one deck, and I feel like I shouldn't even contribute to people looking into this, looking up the deck list online, because I'm sure it is, or designing it themselves. But honestly, if it takes 3 weeks instead of 1 week, people are going to get there, okay? It's going to go there. The quicker it goes there, the quicker they can ban something. And let's hope to God that the people who are in charge of Arena are in charge of the ban list for this new made-up pre-rotation, rotate early format, because if it's Wizards, I don't even know how they did it completely. It has something to do with treasures. That's all I'm going to say. I wasn't paying that much attention. It's like 3 in the morning, and I was watching 2 Mad compilations. But I was just playing my intro stuff, dropping my lands, whatever. I look over, I'm like, how the f*** do they have a flying 8/7 with trample or whatever the f*** it was? I kind of like pieced it together, but it's not, one, I'm not like I'm going to build it. It's not like I was analyzing it to like reverse engineer it and build the deck. And 2, I was so disgusted I honestly just didn't give a f***. But yeah, that plus the sporting cards plus the ramp, the backup options, the amount of cards in his hand, even if I blew it up, I would have lost. It's like me drag racing a car, except I'm on foot. Like, it wasn't even close. Nothing I played against would have beat it. Nothing I currently built or own would beat it. Nothing in that entire format would beat it. So let's say that anomalous pile of shit is dealt with a ban, because you can get rid of one problematic deck with a ban. I mean, look at the Eldrazi Winter. They only ruined like 6 tournaments and it took them 6 months to ban it. one fucking deck archetype. That's how long it took them to take out one deck archetype. But let's say they get rid of that, and the absolute menace that is the angel book thing plus Faceless Haven. I'm a fake angel, but I'm really just a fox wearing a mask or whatever the hell it is. That horseshit combo where unless I can blow up your land, I literally cannot win the game and you cannot lose. What should we call that one? Platinum Angeland? That's garbage. Why did I even say that out loud? Oh, I got it. Platinum, I'm literally going to punch you in the face if you don't take that fucking permanent out of play. I don't give a shit what the rules are. I'm exiling it. You, put it into exile or I will literally punch you. I'm giving it a you counter, and that means remove it from my site immediately or shit's going to get violent. I will get out a big red stamp that says veto. I will dab that motherfucker in some red ass ink, okay, and I will stamp it directly on your card if you don't get that motherfucker on my site, okay? You, I came here to play Magic, not watch you taunt me with a fucking land. But that kind of seems like a long title. Platinum Shapeshifter combo? It's shorter, but it's less descriptive. Anyway, if they get rid of that and they get rid of the god-awful deck that I just saw today, would banning of basically 2 cards, would that be enough? I'm going to say maybe. I mean, like, almost for sure no, because of the 3 sets before this. But is it like, okay, Wizards has given up. They're going to return Standard to a low power level. This is the first of it. Let's just kind of wind on down. We're going to take like 10 steps back from where we were in Standard. We're still not there. There's still like 50 steps to go, but we're going in the right direction. And then after the next, I guess, fake or actual rotation, which is what, now like a year and a half out? They haven't explained any of this shit. But anyway, after the next flushing out of broken crap, then it'll be happy. Like, is this like the half step in between? Maybe. I really think that the treasure mechanic is actually a little bit OP in 2 different color combinations. I analyzed kind of how they built theirs, then I was like, well, yeah, ramping plus weaponized mana spending, while also ramping in case I didn't make that point absolutely clear and getting out like a 5 cost earlier than you should get a 5 cost. Or unstoppable earlier game weapons that are also ramped but also have triggers on top of them because you spent a treasure. It's looking pretty fucking nuts. So I'm not a fan. I think that might be a very overpowered thing. But if I'm not mistaken, this set will be included in the 2023 fall rotation. So guys, we're only like, what, a year and a half, 2 years away from Standard getting rid of this crap too. So it's like, it almost seems like, no, we're back on track to just keep printing broken, overpowered crap that's too fast and too hard to deal with. If you look at almost everything that's ever been banned from another format, the overwhelming majority, the reason was because it was too much too early. That's like very generic and very high level, and but it's too good of something too early, or too much mana too early, too much access to mana and better spells too early, too easy to pull off a ridiculous combo too early of a turn, too fast. Gameplay went too fast, nobody could catch their breath, and whoever went first had a giant advantage. Because remember, if the game goes for 15 turns, you're going to forget who went first. It's such a non-issue. If the game goes for 4 turns, you're going to remember who went first because that's who won. And nobody wants Magic to resort to a coin flip because that's stupid. Just play competitive coin flipping. It's cheaper. It costs 25 cents. A tier 1 net deck costs more than 25 cents. So, I mean, that would say Modern, they're never going to let it win before turn 4, and unofficially then Standard is logically turn 5 or later, and we've seen a lot of turn 5 decks that they did nothing about. So the conclusion is a win on turn 5 is fine with the people who monitor Standard. It's not fine with me. I think the average Standard game should go at least 7 turns. And remember, that's Standard on average. We're talking right now about a 4-set legal format, which Standard usually has more sets than that at, any given time on average. So yeah, these decks are anomalous, and I completely forgot, I got to move on to the third deck that I saw, which is just mono green pseudo-proliferate, I guess. Really, it's just Vorinclex. Vorinclex is the problem. They need to ban that one damn card. I mean, the dude on like turn 6 had like a 13/13 frog. I don't remember how the hell that worked. And then Vorinclex came out, couldn't stop his ass. I think it probably involves something about treasures. I mean, okay, ramping's nothing new in green, but the most assisted, helped out color in the new set, the D&D set, is green. Unequivocally. They got the best cards. Or the most of the good cards. They got the most pushed cards total, or however you want to qualify it. And so now, shocker, if you're not playing Mono White Blitz, or Red Black Treasure Demons with that one stupid dragon, or Mono Green Vorinclex, you pretty much lost. Those 3 decks are in a complete league of their own, and I would even put the Mono White, like Super Blitz 1-2 cost, what I usually call a Blizzard deck, I would put that at tier 1.5. I mean, that's like, whoa, pump the brakes, that's too powerful. But the other 2 are on a whole other level for this format. So let me just reiterate what I said before. Wizards has to get hyper aggressive. Okay, we've seen other formats like, what was it, Frontier, and like that other dumb one or whatever. I don't know. They didn't ban shit quick enough. Same with Brawl. They didn't ban shit quick enough. They continue to this day to not ban shit quick enough in Brawl. That free casting 5-color Rainbow Road shit and Kenrith should both be banned. Kinnan, the asshole prodigy, he should be banned. Ugin should have been banned. Ugin should have never been reprinted. They haven't addressed any of it. They just left it behind. It's a dead format. You can't afford to do that with this new one, Wizards, okay? People give you one chance. They're like, oh, they rotated early. I'm going to come test the waters. And if it's like this level of absolute bullshit, if this right now is their first impression of the new format, and they're like, no, this is just as broken as it always was, they didn't make any step in the right direction, which they clearly have, so that would be, that would be their impression, but it would be wrong, but still. They would be right in thinking it's not in an acceptable state and I don't want to play it. Like, yeah, that's no arguing there. So, like, they need to get on this. They need to not say, well, let's wait and see. Let's see if they adapt. You need to just be able to read the room, Wizards. I don't know why it's so damn hard. I've only been playing for like 8 years, and I can look at something and say, that is going too far. I don't need to see if that takes over a tournament. I don't need to see if somebody finds a way to stop it. That combination of cards, that thing they just did, that turn 3, that turn 4, that 50-50 creature with hexproof, that shouldn't happen, period. I don't care if people just start all running kill spells to get rid of it. It doesn't matter. Also, I just said it's hexproof, but we'll move past that. It's an example anyway. You can't just look at this stuff and say, well, we'll wait and see. You need to have in your mind what an acceptable, fun, fair level of power is for the decks. And when you see a combination of cards go together and you're like, well, that's just too powerful, don't wait for statistics. Don't wait for tournament results. Don't wait and see. Just say, that is too much. Draw the line when something crosses it immediately. Almost without further thought, ban it. That is what they need to do to micromanage the shit out of this new format, or they're not going to have a new format. And remember, okay, when it comes to low-powered Magic, just by default, because of how math and combinations and just blind luck and probability work, you're more likely to have a higher number of competitive decks that are close to each other in power level. Just take my word for it. I explained it in a video once. I don't care to do it twice. Just take my word for it. If you have 10,000 cards to build with, you're going to get a higher power of tier 1 than if you had 5,000. That is just how math works when the cards interact with each other. Because there's more net interactions. Like, how more do I need to say it? People keep saying I'm wrong about this in the comment section. I'm never wrong about math. Shut up. So what you want in Arena is deck building enthusiasts, not just, I'm going to copy someone else's work and just play Magic, and I like accomplishments and a hollow sense of victory. Those people are stupid, boring, and bad for the community. You want deck builders. You know why you want deck builders? 1, deck diversity. 2, 25-cent bulk crap and $30 mythics both cost the same amount of wild cards. Unlocking 4 of anything is unlocking 4 of anything. It doesn't matter if it's a good rare or a bad rare. So who's going to spend more on Arena? Somebody who builds 10 decks or somebody who just copies one net deck off the internet and runs that? Now in paper, who's going to spend more? Somebody who builds tons of decks but keeps it kind of real and maybe shares their land bases between the decks and just keeps it real. Or somebody who goes after one of the top power decks and thus one of the most expensive to build decks because people keep making it happen by buying the deck, which ups the prices. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of, or feedback loop or whatever. Like basically, if you're net decking, you're going to buy the most expensive deck because net deckers drove up the price of the deck by doing what I just said. It's recursive. So like if you build $10, $30 decks, you're probably still getting away cheaper than a $500 deck. And by probably, I mean you are. But you know what I mean? Like being a deck building enthusiast is really, really cheap in paper. but it's really, really expensive on Arena. So if you can hook in the people who really love deck building on Arena, you will make more money. You actually want the net deckers gone off of Arena because they only buy one deck one time, and that don't work so good when it's wild cards, okay? Works great when the cards are like $30. Don't work so great when they all have no value. They're all equal. So low-powered formats are supposed to attract deck builders. Deck builders make tons of money, and now we've got a bunch of net decking overpowered crap in this new format already ruining it after 2.5 days. So Wizards needs to step in if they want any kind of money or anybody returning to Arena. Because the only other reason that people returned to Arena in large numbers last time was a $2,000 tournament. Oh, in a format that wasn't standard constructed. It was sealed. Which is why I'm saying either they have to just keep giving away large amounts of money and convincing everyone that they have a chance of winning it to bring them back in, but then also simultaneously giving people something to play other than standard constructed. Wait a minute, that's the new format. So, like, this is their only shot. This is such a valuable opportunity. Don't blow it, Wizards. Get super aggressive, super intelligent, super experienced, high wisdom decisions here on the ban decisions, and don't wait to implement them. In fact, like I said, I hope it's not even Wizard staff. I hope it's I guess still technically Wizard staff, but whatever, the people who made Arena operating the ban list for this, because it's like a self-contained Arena thing that they're doing separately. Because remember, when they do the standard shakeup, it looks to me like they make the ban list up themselves. Wizards core staff have proven that they're too stupid to manage anything at all. They can't even manage to act like a civil human being on Twitter, let alone manage like their own personal lives or manage anything. Like a ban list or making correct ban announcements. This is the people who like banned, is it Ulamog or whatever the hell instead of Aetherworks Marvel, and then Emrakul. And then people just cast Ulamog. How do you even come to that decision? According to them, it's a room full of people. It's not even one person just f***ing up perpetually. How does a room full of people come up with Emrakul and not think, I wonder if they're just going to free cast Ulamog? I wonder if free casting is the problem. I wonder if the cost in the corner of the card is important to this game in any way for balancing and fairness. It blows my mind. I don't understand Wizards of the Coast. I don't. I do not understand the logic of the people who work there, why they still work there, why they don't get a fucking clue. It's like it's all just one giant trolling operation, or I'm in the fucking Twilight Zone. I don't get it. But what I do get is them handing over the keys to the ban list on this format to the Arena people. Just let it be their thing. Hand it off to a room full of chimpanzees. I don't give a shit. They'll make it. There was a chimpanzee that just threw darts at a fucking map of stocks, and he was like the 6th most successful stock trader that year. That is a real thing that actually happened. I could look up his name if you want. Go look it up. It's a real story. Anyone with a functioning brain who understands how magic works could do a better job of managing the ban list for any format. So let's hope that this is out of Wizards' hands, or they're turning over a new leaf, getting a clue, having a new process, and putting in more effort. Whatever the hell is going wrong with the ban announcements lately, with being either non-existent or inefficient or ineffective, I should say. Well, both. If they've corrected that, then fine, more power to them, great. But it's been like 3 or 4 years of this shit and they haven't fixed anything. So, pardon me if I have my doubts, but if this is the first sign that they're lowering the power level of, I hate to say standard, but let's call it what it is. It's a new standard. Best of 1 Arena preview standard. Whatever. Shut up. And then, like, also they're going to change how they do bans to be quicker, more adaptive, and smarter. Great. But right now, they better, because that's the only thing that's going to save this format, because it's looking pretty grim already on the 2.5 days in. This is pretty bad. Vorn and Klex, that deck not only would probably beat most of the shit that's in standard right now, okay, but it probably would hold its own at a modern tournament. Like, that's how batshit this deck is. This thing gives my SEAL Team 6 deck in modern a run for its money, and that deck was hot shit back when I made it. Turn 4 double strike. You run a pain land or a shock land, I'm going to kill you, because I'm going to do 16 to 18 damage on turn 4, and you can't stop me. But Vorinclex, he comes in stomping in like, I just made an 18-18. How did I do it? I don't know. It's like a whole equation. You got to work backwards, and you got to do like CSI Miami to recreate the crime scene. But really, you don't, because you already hit the forfeit button and then open Far Cry 5 to play that instead. So yeah, I mean, what more do I need to say? They need to fix this shit. They need to get aggressive with the bans. They need to come quick. They need to come like this week. And I wouldn't completely wait for the dust to settle. And the sooner you ban things before people get absolutely married to a deck, and instead of like 100 people playing it, there's like 10,000 people playing it because it spread online and everybody built it, wasted the wild cards, and then you pull the rug out from under them and ban it. Early bans instead of late bans and quick bans instead of reactive bans are a lot better for everyone involved. The earlier it is, the less people you affect, the less people you piss off, and people just proceed to keep building other creative ideas. So you need to get the hammer out and just fix this shit immediately, Wizards. Holy shit, do it. Do it. You like money, right? Do it. Arena people will come back if you make this format finally not shit after 2.5 years of just absolute hell. Fix it. I'll see you guys next video.